Hey everyone, I have with me today the Arena Track swim goggles. I've actually been using this for about a year now, so I'm more than ready to render my review on this particular product. Previously, I've only used Speedo goggles, so this is kind of a deviation from what I'm used to, so I'll be doing kind of a little bit of comparison with that as well. But first, let's take a look at the packaging and do the unboxing. So it has a couple buzzwords here like, anti-fog, UV protection, all of which are good characteristics of swim goggles, but as a swimmer you know that those kind of properties wear off over time, so I'll be talking a little bit about that. But anyways, let's go ahead and get the product out of the packaging. So there's a little bit of paperwork to it. There is one mini pamphlet on basically instructions on how to use the goggles, assemble the nose piece, that kind of thing. And then the longer one is basically how to get a good fit, as well as how to properly maintain your goggles in multiple different languages. There's also a few extra nose pieces in different sizes so you can get the fit that you need. Now for the star of the show, the goggles themselves. So interesting enough, after removing the goggles, I find that the little plastic container almost looks like it can double as a case for it. But because it is totally enclosed and there's no ventilation, you want to only use this as a dry storage, so the goggles shouldn't be wet if you were to store it in this little plastic case. Removing the protective films on the lenses, here is what the goggles look like. As you can see, they are mirrored as well as tinted. So you will notice that if you do swim indoors like I do, that it will appear quite darker, but it's something that I definitely got used to. And if you're swimming outdoors, that tinting and UV protection is definitely welcomed. I like my goggles to be pretty lightweight and slim in design and profile, so you can see there's not too much added cupping to the goggles themselves, and then to the gasketing, it's pretty simple too. It doesn't round out like the Speedo goggles I'm used to, so that was something I had to get used to. Because the gasketing on my Speedos, for example, you can see kind of round out, so there's not as much surface contact between my face and the gasketing, but you can see on the Arena ones here, it takes up a lot more space on my face, so it kind of just feels like there's more, things pressed against my face. But overall, the seal is actually so much better as a result. So again, the comfort level is not quite there, but the seal is very good as a result. So I'm able to go diving and flip turning without having to worry about any kind of leakage. And it's been holding up very well so far for over a year. And I swim pretty much daily for about 40 minutes each day. So that's really impressive. And as an added bonus, because the seal is so good, I don't have to have very tight straps, and as a result, there's no red rings around my eyes after wearing them. Continuing on with the slim profile design, the straps you can see are thin and separated. I prefer this design over a single strap. That way I can kind of separate out the two straps along my head as needed, and they adjust as you would expect on one of those strands. I also really like that the back of the straps are much wider and flatter compared to the Speedos. This in turn created a very secure fit when I'm wearing them, and I pretty much never have to readjust them once I have them on my face. So as with every new goggles, they are like crystal clear when you first wear them for maybe a few weeks, but then afterwards they do eventually just fog up. That protective coating wears off gradually, and it's not as nice and crisp as before, but I have to say that these Arena goggles actually do a very good job of maintaining their clarity over a longer period of time compared to my Speedos. And of course, I do follow the maintenance instructions of not touching the inside and try to rinse it out after I use it in non-chlorinated water. If you don't normally rinse your goggles after using them, you definitely want to with these ones, because I found that the gasketing is a little bit loose around the plastic portion, so there's actually room for gunk to build up a lot easier, including mold if there's, mold spores that you leave on it without rinsing it out. So that actually caused some eye irritation for me because I wasn't doing it originally. But after I started rinsing it out every time I use it, I never ran into the issue again. So if you're accustomed to the Speedo goggles like the Vanquishers like I am, and you're kind of looking for something a little bit better but still around the same price range of sub $30, then you should give this one a try. Although the gasketing may take a little bit of getting used to and breaking in, the overall fit and seal has this lasting much longer than any other goggles I've ever owned.